This week we have the Glassway Grandmaster Nightfall available to us, dropping the Adept Buzzard, I believe, for the first time in Destiny 2. Honestly, can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's the new weapon this season. But this week we have Glassway. In this video, we're going to go over the guide and how to get through this, because it is considered probably one of the harder Nightfalls, or at least it used to be before we had Strand, and I'll go over that at the end. So like, comment, and subscribe if you want to keep supporting. Remember, we get to 1,000 subscribers, I do a giveaway on our Discord. I will leave the link down in the description. So let's have a quick word from our sponsor and get right into this. We get into this strike and we jump up onto this cliff. After our little sparrow ride, we're going to be met immediately with an overload champion. Take care of him, all of his ads, and then continue to take care of all the ads moving forward to the first little area. Now when we get to this first little area, I wouldn't recommend jumping down immediately, as the overload champion that spawns is going to sit right in front of you, easy to take care of. You're going to drop down, deal with another overload champion and a barrier champion as alongside a bunch of little ads. Once you defeat the barrier champion, you can then move on into the first mini boss room. Now in this mini boss room, it's pretty much the same as every other room in the strike, a bunch of little ads, a boss, and some champions. The first champion you're going to deal with is an overload champion that spawns on the right side from one of the fallen skiffs. I highly recommend taking care of him first, because he will just teleport to your face and kill you. Once you deal with the overload champion, damage the boss. Once he gets to about half health, a barrier champion will spawn. Take care of the barrier champion first, as it will protect the boss from being damaged. Defeat the boss, we can move into the next room, which is pretty much the same verse as this one. Defeat the overload champion that's right in front. Take care of all the ads, because these sniper shanks in this area will absolutely decimate you. Boss gets to roughly half health, and then a barrier champion spawns. Defeat the barrier champion, defeat the boss, we can move on. And the next room we're going to look at is the one where you have to traverse across it with the big open cave type thing. Now in this room there's only 2 or 3 champions. However, there's also a bunch of ads that will just shoot your face off, a bunch of shanks, a bunch of dregs. Move forward. The first champion is going to be before you jump across the first time. Take care of him. You're going to then jump across, deal with the vandals, and I believe 2 overloads will spawn here. I can't remember if it's because we didn't defeat the other overload that I had mentioned previously, but we had to deal with 2 overload champions here. If there's only one, good for you. We had 2. So just be prepared for that in case. Once the champions have been dealt with, we can then jump across and walk into the room where we drain the Radiolarian pool. This is a pretty straightforward thing. Just stand on the plate, defeat the ads, hop off the plate if you feel like you're going to get melted. What me and my team normally do is we stand on it for a little bit, shoot all the ads that spawn, stand back on it, and repeat the process until it's done. The biggest thing you're going to worry about here are the vandals on the top edges, as they are just going to rain down hellfire and snipe you as much as they can. Once the Radiolarian lake pool, whatever you want to call it, has been drained, you're going to be met immediately with an overload champion. He usually spawns on the right hand side, so focus him down, get rid of him, move forward while dealing with all the ads and the snipers up top. Once you get about halfway through this room, a barrier champion is going to spawn. Take care of him and clean up any other ads that are left, as then this will open the door to the boss room. Now the boss room can be a bit tricky, especially since the ads have changed a little bit in here. The first thing you're going to want to do when you walk in is deal with the overload captain that is going to spawn pretty much on top of you. Once he's dealt with and all the ads have been dealt with, quickly get into the room on that left hand side from when you enter, as this is going to be your home base. Now when the bosses spawn, this is what's going to happen. An overload champion is going to spawn out of the left and right hand portal, and they're going to begin to push you. Now you can try to take care of that left one before the boss even comes to you, or you can have them focus down the middle like we've done in the past. With them focusing down middle, this made Strand an absolutely amazing tool to have, as I would just pop my barricade, suspend everything, and we would just melt those champions. Once those champions are gone, damage the little Hydra that's in the room with you, and just get rid of him. As once you do that, more champions are going to spawn. I believe it is another round of overload champions. Deal with them, deal with the boss, deal with any other ads that is going to spawn, and we can begin the second part of this encounter. Now, during the second part, the little Hydra is going to come back out, and he is going to be accompanied by wyverns and barrier champions. Now, the barrier champions will never push inside this room, so you need to focus the wyverns, as they will one-shot you no matter what. Again, you can try to deal with that wyvern out of the left-hand portal, or you can have them funnel down the middle, suspend them, destroy them, damage the boss, and repeat that same process. Once the boss has gone away, you then have to deal with the 4 barrier champions that are outside. They're really not that bad. Again, Strand made this pretty easy, and barrier champions are also pretty easy to deal with because my teammates had Arbalest and Wishender. Once those barrier champions have been dealt with, the big boss is going to come back out with, again, Overload champions. Deal with the Overload champions, damage the boss, get them down to half of that next bar, more Overload champions, suspend them, stun them, deal with them, and then finish off the boss, and then the last part, they both come out. When this happens, luckily, there are not going to be any Overload champions. Instead, it's just another round of Wyverns and barrier champions. Deal with them as you see fit. Again, Wyverns always come first. Deal with the barrier champions later. Get rid of the little boss entirely, defeat him, and then focus your efforts on the last set of Wyverns and the big boss. Now, before you actually fully defeat the big boss, make sure you take care of those last set of champions so that this way you can get your platinum rewards and all that loot that flows on the right hand side of your screen. Now, this Grandmaster is a lot easier than it used to be. I used to only run Stasis Warlock. This is actually the first time that I've ran Glassway without a Stasis Warlock, and it was a lot of fun. Strand is just so good, especially in Glassway, while the tight corridors where you're trying to lure champions in. It was fantastic. So my recommendations for this strike is going to be a Strand subclass. It doesn't matter which Strand subclass. Titan worked the best because honestly that's what I used. And bring a Wither Horde. We didn't have a Wither Horde, and it took way longer to get rid of the boss than it needed to. So bring a Wither Horde, bring Strand, and you'll get through this Grandmaster pretty easily. So with that, that is the end of the guide. Like, comment, and subscribe. And another reminder, again, 1,000 subs, we get a giveaway over on our Discord that I'll leave down in the description. This week also is my last build video for the season, and I'm going to spend the weekend getting together everything new that's coming when Season of the Deep launches. So I'll see you all in the next video.